Coming up in just a few minutes, we have an injury update around Chris Olave. So before we get into that, I just want you to hit the thumbs up icon for Big Play Olave. If you want number 12 to have a long and successful and outstanding career in New Orleans, I need your help. Hit the thumbs up icon, like this video, and send 12 some good vibes. But let's get into the roster news and the updates around the New Orleans Saints. And then, like I said, the injury update around Chris Olave. But first things first, Johnathan Abram. He has been signed to the active roster from the practice squad. And you might be asking, why? Why are we going and getting a former first-round pick out of Mississippi State that hasn't really panned out? Why are we bringing it up to the active roster? Well, injury update around Marcus Maye. He appeared on the injury report with a shoulder injury. So that's why Johnathan Abram will be activated to the active roster. More of an insurance policy, if you ask me. But let's look at the career numbers for Abram. So he hasn't been that great. Like I said, a round one selection, number 27 overall back in 2019. The numbers have never quite been there, and his best PFF coverage grade came in 2021 with a 54.2. He's better at pass rushing than he is at defending the pass, and quite honestly, he's never really been that amazing. But in 3 games in 2023 with the New Orleans Saints, Johnathan Abram has had very limited run. He's had 79 snaps on defense, 36 snaps on special teams, but in terms of the production in 2023, just 8 tackles. So it's been limited run. We've seen him very, sparsely throughout the season, and then we saw him a little bit in the preseason, but if you ask me, I just think that this isn't one of those, moves that's going to be like, oh my gosh, this guy is going to make a huge deal. Like, there's a reason he never panned out. There's a reason he hasn't stuck around on a roster with any of the teams. He was on 3 different teams last season, but the depth chart for the safety room checks out as this. You got Tyrann Mathieu, Marcus Maye as your starting guys. Jordan Howden has been excellent filling in throughout this season. He has been awesome. Lonnie Johnson Jr., JT Gray, and Johnathan Abrams to round out that group. And if Johnathan Abrams or Jordan Howden do have to start over Marcus Maye, they're going to be playing alongside the Honey Badger, who's been stellar this year. I mean, come on. He's number 2 in interceptions. Paulson Adebo's number 1 with 4 picks. Tyrann Mathieu, number 2 on the team with 3 interceptions, 48 tackles, 6 pass breakups. He's been all over the field. He had a pick 6 against the New England Patriots, and he's just been good. So I think that if you have Tyrann Mathieu alongside Jordan Howden or alongside Johnathan Abram, you should be able to manage a little bit. That being said, obviously, you want your starters out there. But guys, if you want more roster updates, injury news, draft, free agency coverage, watch parties, live shows, and videos by Saints fans for Saints fans, I encourage you to subscribe today. We are on the road to 24,000 subscribers. And guys, do me a favor. If you are subscribed and if you are a member of our family here, just go ahead and type "Stay Golden" in the comment section. That way I know you guys are locked in, you guys are loaded, and you will always get your Saints content. But let's dive into the injury report. And like I said, we're going to be talking Chris Olave in a second, so just hang on. Cameron Jordan, he did not participate. The Iron Man had an ankle injury, was not at practice on Wednesday. We do not have the Thursday injury report at the time of me filming this. If there's any notable updates, we'll either make a short, make a video, update the comment section, description, all of that. We'll get you guys the information. But we already talked about Marcus Maye. Kendre Miller, ankle, did not participate. As did Rashid Shaheed, also did not participate with that thigh injury. Pete Werner, this one's actually interesting. Shoulder and oblique injury. The Saints need Pete Werner out there, quite honestly. He has been great this year. If the Saints don't have Pete Werner, things will not be going well because that's it. Tight end Jimmy Graham, per usual, on Wednesday had a rest day. To be honest, Saints fans, I don't think he's going to get a ton of run throughout the rest of the season just because he was kind of just brought in, I feel like, because Juwan Johnson's healthy and because he got shaken up. So maybe you see Jimmy Graham. I just don't think he's going to have a huge role throughout the remainder of the season, which stinks because it was a fun signing. But, come on. He's not 2012 Jimmy Graham that we all loved and 2013 Jimmy G. Blake Grupe, he had a right groin injury. He was a limited participant. We broke down that the Saints added Austin Seibert, the kicker, to the practice squad in case he can't go. In yesterday's video, Eric McCoy, shoulder injury, limited participant. Ryan Ramczyk, he is always on a rest day on these Wednesdays, but he also has a knee issue. He was a limited participant. And one more reminder, this is why you subscribe. And coming up, we have that Chris Olave injury update, but I have to give some love to Prize Picks. So shout out to today's presenting sponsor. It's the most fun, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in North America, and it is Prize Picks. Just go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Plug in that promo code CLNS, and you could win up to 25 times your money this football season, this NBA season, next MLB season, the NHL season. If you want to go place projections on sports, this is the place to do it. You win real money. It's you versus numbers, not you versus sharks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. And here are the projections I'm rolling with this week. I'm sorry. Jared Goff is going to just absolutely torch the Saints. That's just going to happen. We all know it. So I'm taking the more on 262.5 passing yards. Jalen Hurts, I think you're good for one tush push against the 49ers. I know that he's going to get that. I know that they're going to do it, and I'm going to bounce back this week and win some money. And Christian McCaffrey, half a rushing touchdown. I mean, he's Mr. Automatic. You're guaranteed damn near a touchdown every single time he steps on the field. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS. First deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. All of that information is in the comment section and description of this video. So let's get into the injury update around number 12. 12, whichever way is right. Wide receiver Chris Olave is going through concussion protocol. Now, that's not a surprise. I mean, did you see how he came down against the Falcons? That looked like it hurt. And I will say this, there's some positive news. He was involved in the wide receiver drills yesterday. But let's look at the depth chart in case Olave can't go. Your starting 3 wide receivers are A.T. Perry, Keith Kirkwood, and Lynn Bowden Jr. That's it. The Lions have a terrible pass defense. And you need all the pass catchers you can have. This sucks that this team is injured right now. This stinks that the Saints are going to likely be without Rashid Shaheed, possibly without Chris Olave. But I will say this, it's great news that Olave doesn't have negative news around him. I'm really, really happy, and I'm really, really excited that the initial reports are positive. However, if you just take a look back at the short career Chris Olave has had in New Orleans, he's gotten beat the hell up. I mean, we have some photos that we're going to go through, and I just want you guys to see him because he's just taken an absolute beating. The Saints have to do a better job at protecting their assets. And some of that, Chris Olave, you got to protect yourself. Some of that, what the hell, refs. But y'all remember this crazy, just ridiculously dirty hit from the Steelers? Yeah, that was insane. What about the touchdown catch when the Seahawks defender, I believe it was Kobe Bryant, grabbed him and slammed him, pile drove him into the ground like it was WWE? The hell are we doing there? And then on top of that, you have this crazy out-of-bounds catch. It wasn't ruled a catch. He fell, landed straight on his back and head. I mean, it was absolutely awful. And here's my thing. I want number 12 to wear the black and gold for a very, very, very long time. I think Chris Olave has all of the skills, all of the tools to be a lifetime wide receiver 1 for New Orleans. But he has to stay healthy. The Saints have to do a better job of taking care of the important parts of their team, which is all of them, to be quite honest. They got to do better taking care of everything, but especially players like Chris Olave. You can't rush him back. Here's the thing. I understand that he's a great football player, but do you really want to risk the length of his career, the longevity of his career, for him to try to play this season where we're likely going to, if you make the playoffs, get knocked out? Like, I want him to be in the black and gold for a long time, so I want Chris Olave to just take his time, get healthy, don't risk further injury. That's just my full take on this. But I need you to help me out, show some love to Chris Olave. Type 12 in the comments section. I want to hear from you, Who Dat Nation. I know for a fact Chris Olave watches this show, so if you want to show him some love, type 12 in the comments section. And before we head on out of here, I just want to show you this. You want to see a crazy stat? You want to see something absolutely insane that actually has everything to do with Chris Olave? Well, not everything to do. It has to do with Chris Olave, but it has more to do with how bad Derek Carr has been. So there has been a bunch of players this season. I saw this tweet, and it was put out. It was uncatchable passes with at least one step of separation. Now look at the rankings here. Chris Olave has 16 passes that were uncatchable when he had at least one step of separation. He is on top of that. Jamar Chase at 2, Terry McLaurin at 3, Garrett Wilson at 4, Marquise Brown tied as well with Garrett Wilson, D-Hop, and Chris Godwin, and DK Metcalf. I mean, that's my biggest problem is if Olave can just get better throws. If he isn't getting hospital passes, if he isn't getting led down the field to just nothing, if he gets accurate passes, there is clearly no problem with Olave creating that separation and creating the space that he needs to make a play because you don't get a lot in the NFL. The NFL is a game of inches. You don't get a lot of space as a wide receiver versus a good cornerback or good safety. And if Derek Carr can connect with number 12 more consistently, there's more wins. You can't tell me otherwise. I mean, there was what? You had 16 of those catches, 12.2 yards per catch. Quick math. If you get half of those, that's almost 100 yards. That's almost 100 extra yards. If you get half of those catches, just do what you want with that information. But thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. As always, don't forget to hit that thumbs up icon. Don't forget to subscribe. Remember, no watch party this weekend as I'm out of town for a wedding in Mexico. I thank you guys for understanding and being, really cool about it. But y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time. Have a wonderful weekend.